Welcome you to the Henry J. Furry Complex here on the campus of Gateway High School for some Wednesday evening volleyball as the Gateway Gators take on the Woodland Hills Wolverines here on Gateway Gators Productions. Hello everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Spencer Witt. Gateway is coming off of back-to-back losses, one in section play, another one in non-conference play. A loss to Hampton in section play last week, along with a loss in a non-conference match to Butler. But they're going to try and turn things around here in a conference match against Woodland Hills. Woodland Hills with a record of 0-7, 0-6 on the year. The Wolverines have only won one set so far this year. It was against Penn Hills. They took one set but dropped that match 3-1. Penn Hills. The Indians of Penn Hills just sitting right above Gateway in the standing, or Woodland Hills in the standings, but we'll talk about that later on in this one. Both these teams are wearing white jerseys, which is something you don't see too often here, just depending on what jerseys everyone had available for them. The liberos wearing black for both teams. As we're getting the official scoring and proper lineups here in this one for both these teams. Gateway, their last win was on September 19th. It was a match at McKeesport. They won that one 3-0. They won back-to-back matches, also taking down Penn Hills at home on September 14th. This match was originally supposed to be tomorrow, September 28th, but scheduling conflicts for homecoming weekend for Gateway. They wanted to move this match up to today to let the Gators volleyball team and everyone attend the homecoming festivities that take place tomorrow. And of course, the football game will be taking place on Friday as well, among other things. But right now it's volleyball here, as first serve will be from Becca Bush for Woodland Hills, and we're underway here in this one. First swing off of the block, kept up though by the Wolverines to the outside, tipped over, bumped into the air. Tight on the net, they'll joust for it, and it just kind of rolls around there. Really tough play is what they do there between Woodland Hills and Gateway. It goes off the hands of number 13, Isabel Concepcion. And it will be Alice Childs who will serve for Gateway. Served over by Childs. Bumped into the air from number 10, Sarah Bauer. Into the middle off the block. Kept up though. Nice play from Woodland Hills to keep that one alive. And that one off of the side of the net, and it's a point for Gateway. Correction, went off the block. I didn't think it had touched that block initially, but just off the hands of the right side blocker for Woodland Hills. And serving this one is Alice Childs again. Childs serves it over, passed up into the air from Sarah Bauer. To the outside, that was Divine Holland. To the right side for Gateway, and kept it in the air from number 18. That's Bree Mason. Sent over, nice swing, but kept up by Gateway. Really good play there as well. And the Gators work on offense this time. Into the middle. Off Mallory Brown, but kept up by Woodland Hills. Good rally from both these teams. Estremera dives in front of that one, but a point for Woodland Hills. Their first point of the evening. It was a good swing from 17. That's Divine Holland. Tying their shoes is Gateway, and Divine Holland will serve this one over. It's passed up by Estremera. To the outside, Brown, no touch, doesn't matter. It's a block for Woodland Hills. Off the swing of McKenna Brown for Gateway. Served over again by Holland, although it's served under. She has a laugh of that one. And a point for Gateway, and Mallory Brown will serve, the senior for the Gators. Served over by Brown, bumped into the air from number 12, Liv Rocco. Touched over, and a double hit is going to be called as the setter for the Wolverines, Isabel Concepcion, kind of knew that one from her touch. They're not going to be as generous for the setters as they would other players. This nice swing, but going cross court, Sarah Bauer couldn't put that one inside the lines. Not a bad idea, though. Correction, Concepcion's actually the right side hitter, not the setter. Served over, off the arm of a player, and it's an ace. Mallory Brown gets an ace for Gateway. They have a 6-2 lead here in this first set. Served over by Brown, as you can hear Woodland Hills yelling that one's out. And the service error from the Gators, and a point for Woodland Hills. Woodland Hills trying to figure out who just served last. And it will be number 7 for Woodland Hills. Helen DeCrosta is the one who will serve that one. And it will be DeCrosta who will serve this one for Woodland Hills. DeCrosta sends it over, passed up by the libero for Gateway. Kept into the air. Off the touch from Estremera. Touched over as well. Bumped into the air from Woodland Hills to number 10, Sarah Bauer, but kept in the air from Estremera. Off the block of McKenna Brown. They'll go back to the right side, pushing that one over, but into the air from Jaslyn Sanders. And out of play, and it's a point for Woodland Hills. Wolverines within 1 now, 6-5 here in this one. DeCrosta serves again. Passed up by Estremera. Off the block, off DeCrosta. Set from Becca Bush. Into the middle, nice swing though. Tight on the net. Kept in the air from number 2, Sadie Boyd. Out of bounds. Touch is the call, and it's a point for Woodland Hills. How many times are we going to do that tonight? And the Wolverines have tied this match up early here. 6 apiece. Served over the air from McKenna Brown. To the right side, that's Jelena Estremera. Correction, that is not Jelena Estremera. No, it is Jelena Estremera. My apologies. Michelina Estremera is the libero. Get the Estremera sisters confused. Outside, Brown. Brown into the net. Point for Woodland Hills. And they have an 8-6 lead early on in this first set. Served over. It's off an arm of a Gateway player. Estremera gets a touch on it and just pushed over. A nice play from number 2, Ashley Young for Gateway. And a much-needed side out there for the Gators. Jelena Estremera will serve for the Gators. Sent over into the air. Bumped into the air, but tight on the net there. Nothing that number 10, Sarah Bauer, could do with that one. And a point for Gateway. Ties it up at 8 apiece. Juliana Connolly will come in for the Wolverines. Estremera will send this one too far on the serve, and Woodland Hills, a 9-8 lead. Served over. Still in the air, and that one out of bounds, and a point for Woodland Hills. Jaslyn Sanders will serve this one over again. Too far from Sanders. Just tried to drop that one in on that line, but could not. Good call from Estremera. Adelie Ruffel will come in for Gateway and serve. 10-9, Woodland Hills. Served over, bumped in the air. That's a nice pass from the Wolverines, but nobody there for Woodland Hills. Again, Sarah Bauer, that was a really nice pass to the setter, but just setting that one to no one, unfortunately, and a point for Gateway. Served over by Ruffel, played by the Wolverines, and then bumped over. And now on offense for Gateway. Down the line, and they get the point. Rachel Szymanski for Gateway. Nice swing from her, and a point for Gateway. 11-10, the Gators take the lead back. Ruffel will serve. Passed up by Bauer. Into the middle and just out of the reach. Just couldn't time that one. Alexis Ayati not able to time that one in the middle. Served over again. Woodland Hills. Into the middle, Ayati. That one gets a finger off of a player for Gateway, and a point for Woodland Hills. The junior for Woodland Hills gets the point. And Sarah Bauer will serve for Woodland Hills. Served over. It's a good serve from her. Into the middle, touched over. Bauer on the bump set, or on the bump pass, excuse me, to the outside. Kept in the air from Gateway. Estremera will try and roll that over. She will not. Point for Woodland Hills. Ellen DeCrosta was the one who hit that one over. Bauer will serve this one. Another good serve from Bauer, but a really good pass. Bauer keeps that one alive at the net. Pushed over by Ayati for Woodland Hills, but they're going to call breaking the plane there from number 14, the junior, reaching too far over. And a point for Gateway. Estremera will serve this one over. And Estremera gets the ace for Gateway. Michelina Estremera, one of the 4 seniors for the Gators. Estremera served, getting a good piece of that one, and it's off her sister's head. Estremera trying to bump that one over after frustration, just went right off her sister's head, and Jelena was not happy about that one. Still not happy. We're going to laugh about it later on, though. But for now, we're back underway. Pushed over, kept in the air from Becca Bush. Bumped over. Tiling that, Estremera tips it over. Nice play from number 25, Jelena Estremera. And a point for the Gators. Next serve to step up. We'll have some substitutions first. Ellen DeCrosta will check back in for Woodland Hills, and for Gateway it will be number 4, Joanna Miller, who will check in to serve. Miller has some fans in the stands and trying to keep a straight face. Here in this one, we have some questions as to who should be where on the court for Woodland Hills. And the R2, yeah, so the serve was for Gateway. That the R2 thinking that they should have rotated, but the serve is still for Gateway, or actually for Gateway now, so they won't have to rotate yet. So they're back into sync. The referee saying, my bad. And we're back underway. Miller will serve. It's off the arm of a Wolverine, and then into the air, and that one's going to hit. Did it not hit the, I thought it hit a speaker up there, but still played. Kept up by Gateway. Nice dig as well from the Gators, but into the net is Woodland Hills, so a point for the Gators. Miller will serve again for Gateway. 16-13 lead. Woodland Hills looking to side out here, and they do just that. It's a service error from Miller. And it will be number 5, Becca Bush, who will serve for Woodland Hills. Served over, into the air. That's Brown for Gateway. To the outside, off of number 17, Divine Holland. Into the air from Acosta. In the air again as well from Bush, and bumped over by Holland. To the right side. Bush gets a piece of it. Second ball from the libero. Bumped over by Aety. Into the middle, Brown. Off the block. Good rally again, but Woodland Hills, I jinxed it there for the Wolverines. Alexis Aety couldn't bump that one over. And a point for the Gators, 17-14. Off the fists of number 13 for Woodland Hills, and it's an ace for the Gators. Number 11, Alice Childs, gets the ace. 18-14. Childs will serve again. Passed up into the middle, Aety, kept up by Estremera. Into the middle this time from Brown, and Brown gets the point. Mallory Brown for the Gators. And a timeout will be taken by Woodland Hills, 19-14. Gateway with a 5-point lead. Once again, thank you for tuning in here on GatewayGatorsProductions.com, your home for all broadcasts of Gateway fall, winter, and spring sports. Of course, this being our game of the week here for Gateway High School. We'll take a look at some of the upcoming broadcasts here in this one. That Thursday one is today because of the scheduling change. And of course, on Friday, Hempfield will be taking on the Gateway Gators at home here in this one. Boys soccer will be the match of the week, Thursday, October 5th, against Plum. And on Friday, October 6th, it's football at Penn Trafford. The Warriors, they go out there for Gateway. We'll have girls volleyball and soccer remaining through that schedule as well. Alice Childs will serve for Gateway. Served again, into the air. Kept up. Aety sends it over. Nice pass from Estremera to the outside. Brown off the block, kept up. Pushed over, dropped in from Aety. No, it's not. No, it is not. It's still played. Oh, my goodness. Woodland Hills almost lost a point there from celebrating too early. Pushed over, off an arm, and it's finally Woodland Hills who gets the point. Nice up, though, from the Gators, never giving up on that play. There was no whistle. And a yellow card is drawn, and I believe what the card is going to be drawn here is on the head coach for Woodland Hills. The problem was, and I don't blame her for doing this, that's Jasmine Boyd. Woodland Hills was celebrating like they'd gotten the point, and Boyd's basically running. I think she might have gotten onto the court, maybe a foot or two on the court, telling her team, no, it's not over yet. And whatever the term is coming out of her box is what they necessarily say. Is this one too far on the serve from Aity? So a yellow card drawn against the head coach for Woodland Hills. I don't blame her, though. It's the right decision to do that. Don't want to have to lose a point based off of that. As the referee, the R2, joking, the yellow doesn't necessarily mean much, at least in this situation. It's the red card that really matters. Yellow's more of a warning than anything. Mallory Brown serves it over for Gateway. Into the middle, big swing there from 22, Jaslyn Sanders. To the outside, Brown will just tip it over. It's a net violation. No, correction, a double hit on McKenna Brown for Gateway. And a point for Woodland Hills. The Wolverines will serve this one. Divine Holland sends it over into the air from Miller, bumped over by Brown. That one just rolls over the tape, but kept up by Estremera. She'll have to bump this one over. Free ball from Gateway. Off the set from Bush to the outside, off the block, kept up though. Nice play from McKenna Brown for Gateway. Rolled over, passed up from Bree Mason to the outside. Estremera is there for it for Gateway. One touch over, diving over is Becca Bush, and then putting it back down. Ashley Young for Gateway. 21-16, the Gators with the lead. Heads up play by Ashley Young, cleaning things up though. From great efforts from the Woodland Hills Wolverines to keep that one alive. And that was Becca Bush for Woodland Hills. Served over into the air, pushed over by Bush. Nice job from Estremera keeping that one alive for the Gators. Into the middle, touched over by Mason. No correction, that's touched over by Sanders. Off the block, into the air from Bauer. Pushed over though by Bush. Into the middle, off Bauer. This one over for Gateway, off the fingertips of Sadie Boyd, who just kind of reacted to it, and a point for the Gators. 22-16. Jolina Estremera will serve. Estremera's serve too far on that one. And a point for Woodland Hills, 22-17. Helen DeCrosta will come in to serve for the Wolverines. Passed up by Estremera. Set by Estremera to the right side, and a point for number 19, Rachel Szymanski. For the Gators, 23-17. Natalie Ruffel will serve. Ruffel serve into the air. Boyd passes that one up, overpass, jousting, and then Gateway will play this, and it's going to be crossing over there from Woodland Hills. Deflecting a playable ball on Gateway's side of the court. Overpass, kept up though by Woodland Hills. Sent over, and it's off the fingertips of a Woodland Hills Wolverine player. It's Szymanski who gets the final point of the first set. The Gators take the first set by a score of 25-17. So Gateway leads this one 1-0 in the match. A best of 5, of course, here in high school varsity volleyball. Thank you again for tuning in here on GatewayGatorProductions.com. Your home for all Gateway Gators sports and broadcasts. Everything you need to know about the broadcasts for the Gators. throughout this entirety of the school year. Gateway, of course, taking the first set 1-0. Both these teams will play at least 3 sets. Play best of 5 in varsity volleyball, best of 3 in JV volleyball. Congratulations to the Gateway girls team. The JV team defeated Woodland Hills 2-0 in their match prior to this one. Let's take a look at Nicole Riley and the crew for Gateway. Winning by 25-17, but you got to think if you're Gateway, this might have been a little too close in this first set, not what they were expecting. As you take a look at the standings here in WPIAL Class 3A, Hampton Talbots, I mean, consistently a really, really good squad there. In 3A Section 1, 10-0, 6-0. They're ranked in class, the 3A class, one of the top teams. Plum, the Mustangs, 6-1, 5-1 in the conference. Gateway sits right in third place, 4-2. West Mifflin bouncing back. Good to see them. Past couple years, the Titans have struggled, but have had a lot of improvements over this year. The Keysport 2-4 record. Penn Hills 1-5, and Woodland Hills, those Wolverines sitting at 0-6. In section play last year, Woodland Hills sat right around fifth place in the section. Had a couple victories on the year, but things have not gone their way this year as well. They only have 1 set win, and it was against Penn Hills earlier this year. Both teams coming back out onto the court. And the referees making sure they're getting the right starters and everything for this set. Once we have that, we'll have the liberos being able to check in. And then we'll have the second set here in this one. So Michelina Estremera has checked in as the libero. Served over. Someone's got to go get to that one. Finally, it was number 10, Sarah Bauer. Tipped over, pushed back over, though. Trying to catch them off guard. Becca Bush, one hand on that one. Just couldn't get that one over, though. Isabel Concepcion, nice play to get a hand on it, but the Gators get the first point here in this second set. Served over, off one hand, and a point for Woodland Hills. Becca Bush just pushing that one over and hoping for the best, and the best did come of that one. And so Becca Bush will serve. Served over, served into the net though, point for the Gators. Served over, dropping that one in, it's an ace. For number 11 for Gateway, Alice Childs gets the ace. 3-1 lead here in this second set. Served over, bumped into the air, to the outside. Good set, good swing, and dropping it in is number 17, Divine Holland for Woodland Hills. And Holland will serve for Woodland Hills, the sophomore. We'll send this one over. Served over into the air. Good serve from Holland. Good pass as well. Off an arm. Just into the net, though. Tough bounce from Becca Bush. That was Arroya Brown for Gateway. And as you take a look at the Gators bench, Arroya Brown will serve this one over way too far from Brown, and it's out of play. Just a little too much mustard on that one. Served over. Jaslyn Saunders, though, into the net. It will be a point for the Gators as Jelena Estremera, the junior setter, will send this one over. Younger sister of Michelina Estremera for the Gators. Into the air and sent into the corner. Michelina Estremera has to go get that one. Nice play from her. Brown will just bump it over. Off the libero for the Wolverines. And it's a point for Woodland Hills. Alexis Ayati gets the point for the Wolverines. And now they're within one here in this second set, 5-4. Served over, passed up by Estremera to the right side. Brown rolls it over. Kept in the air from number 2, Sadie Boyd. Bumped over, though, from number 10, Sarah Bauer, just getting that one over. Rolled over to the left, though, from Estremera. And a point for Woodland Hills. They've tied this this set up 5 apiece. Served over into the air from Woodland Hills to the outside, right inside that line. Nice swing. Joanna Miller for Gateway. Miller gets the point, and McKenna Brown will serve. McKenna Brown, twin sister of Mallory Brown, serves that one over, bumped into the air, and tough play from Ashley Young. Young was waiting for it, but was just a little late on it. Hit that one right into the net, and Sarah Bauer will serve for Woodland Hills. Bauer into the net, service error on the jump serve. Point for the Gators. Michelina Estremera will serve. The libero sends this one over into the air, an overpass, put back over by Gateway. It's number 4, Joanna Miller for the Gators, cleaning up the overpass. And a point for Gateway, 8-6 in this second set. Served over, passed into the air from Bauer. Touched over from Sadie Boyd. To the outside, tough angle. Boyd is there for it. Sent over from the setter, DeCrosta. To the right side. Too far on that one. And touches the call. The call is touch off of the libero, Liv Rocco, but that was the R1 that made the R1 that made that call, not the line judge. Play will 9-6 now is off Sadie Boyd, and a point for Gateway from the swing of Alice Childs. 10-6. Estremera will serve. Served over. Off Boyd. Rocco on the bump set. And then sent over by number 14, Agati. Rolled over. Off Joanna Miller. Pushed over by number 5, Becca Bush. Boyd gets a piece of it, but drops right in. A point for number 10 for Gateway. Arroya Brown for the Gators. And a timeout taken by the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Jasmine Boyd will take the timeout. 11-6 the score here in this second set is Boyd and the Wolverines do not want this one to become out of reach after a couple points from the Gators on GatewayGatorsProductions.com. Gateway, like we talked about before, sitting at 3rd place in the standings. Woodland Hills currently at the bottom, but the Gators with a 4-2 record in conference play, 4-3. They have wins against McKeesport in section, Penn Hills, West Mifflin, and Woodland Hills. The problem is teams above them they have yet to defeat. Plum defeated them 3-1 on September 12th. Gateway fell to Hampton at home on September 20th. Estremera will serve this one back over again off the bump of Rocco and into the net from DeCrosta. Point for Gateway. Estremera will serve. Nicolina Estremera into the air from Rocco. Second ball from Boyd. And then sent over from number 5. That's Becca Bush. To the outside. That's Childs, but passed up by Woodland Hills. Boyd. Kept up, nice dig. Off the block and off Agati, and a point for Gateway. That was Arroya Brown on that one. A nice pass from Adelie Ruffel on the dig from her. Estremera will serve this one again. It's off Rocco. And rolled over and just out of bounds from Sadie Boyd. Estremera will serve for Gateway again, 14-6. Boyd pushes it over, passed up by Nicolina Estremera. On the set from Jolena Estremera, off the block, and a point for Gateway. Number 11, Alice Childs gets the point. And Estremera will serve, 15-6. The Gators starting to run away with it here in this second set. Off Rocco. Sent over by number 5. It's Becca Bush. To the right side, Rocco, nice dig from her. Touched over, and under the net is number 7, Helen DeCrosta. Just trying to get there and full speed towards that ball and couldn't stop herself before her foot went over the line. Point for Gateway. Served over, overpass, and put right back down by Joanna Miller for Gateway. Estremera has gone on a serving streak here. 17-6. Served over, another nice serve. Boyd got a piece of it, and she'll bump this one over as well. Passed up by Gateway. To the right side. That's going to be a net violation on number 4, Joanna Miller. Point for the Wolverines. And they needed that one. Woodland Hills did. 17-7. Set a little too tight for Joanna Miller. Agati didn't like the bounce, or on the The toss, so she drops it, and then that one off of a Woodland Hills player on the overpass, and a point for Gateway. Bree Mason will check back in for Woodland Hills. Joanna Miller will serve. Estremera almost didn't get back in position in time. Into the middle, touched over by Jaslyn Sanders to the outside off the block. Nice pass from number 18, Bree Mason. That one out of bounds, point for Gateway. 19-7. The Gators up in this one. Joanna Miller will serve for Gateway. Served over off one player. And free ball sent over from Woodland Hills. Into the middle, big swing and getting the kill. Arroya Brown for Gateway. 5'11" middle hitter, the junior for Gateway. Gets the point. Served into the net from Joanna Miller, and a point for Woodland Hills. Becca Bush will serve, sends this over. Off Estremera, into the middle. It was Brown, but kept up from Woodland Hills. Sanders into the net. It's tough to approach a ball like that when you're a middle blocker coming from behind you, the ball, and you have to time that one into the net because you got to get in front of you and also time it to jump up there, and not as easy as a set that's in front of you and just going right next to you. Or coming from right next to you, I should say. Served over, rolled over though from Woodland Hills. Nobody there, and it's a point, but no, it's a point for Woodland Hills. I believe it was over the net for Gateway on the set from number 4, Joanna Miller. That one back set to Arroya Brown and into the net. Point for the Wolverines, 21-10. Served over, too far on the serve. And a point for Gateway, 22-10. Roya Brown will serve. Sent over. Pumped in the air from Bauer. Into the middle, Sanders. Sanders drops that one in. Nice swing from Jaslyn Sanders. Cutting that one to her left and getting the point. Woodland Hills trying to give themselves a little more energy here at the end of this second set. Didn't know where that ball went until Estremera had to go get it behind the R1's podium. Served over into the net. A point for Gateway, 23-11 here in this second set. Nicolina Estremera will serve. Sent over into the air from Bauer. Rolled over, too far from Sarah Bauer, and a point for Gateway. Nicolina Estremera will serve. Jelena serve sent over. On the right side, sent over by Helen DeCrosta. To the right side for Gateway, off the block, off a couple players and into the net, and not over the net, and a point for the Gators, 25-11. Gateway taking the second set and a 2-0 lead here in this match. Gateway trying to bounce back after back-to-back losses. One of them being in that section match against Hampton. They're off to a good start. A much cleaner first set here, or second set here, excuse me, for the Gators. Here in this one, 4 seniors on the squad for Gateway. Alice Childs for Gateway, Michelina Estremera, and then the twins, Mallory and McKenna Brown for the Gators. All 4 of them getting a lot of playing time here in this match. Woodland Hills with a handful of seniors themselves. Sadie Boyd, Bree Mason, Jaslyn Sanders, Isabel Concepcion, and Juliana Connolly are listed as the seniors for the Wolverines. So Gateway taking the first set 25-17, the second set 25-11. Thank you again for tuning in here on GatewayGatorProductions.com, your source for all Gators live streamed events. Check out GatewayGatorProductions.com. You'll see the available spot to check out all the games. Graduation also live streamed on GatewayGatorProductions.com. We'll have all kinds of sports throughout this year. Of course, girls and boys soccer, along with volleyball here, the football matches, every football game live streamed through Gateway Gator Productions. As you take a look at the upcoming broadcasts here, we talked about the first 4. We'll go to the second 4 now. We've seen the Tigers a couple times, back-to-back days. Girls volleyball takes on McKeesport on October 12th, and then Friday, October 13th versus McKeesport football game. That'll be a good one to watch. McKeesport always a tough task for Gateway. Football the following week at Norwin on October 20th. And then Friday, October 27th, Central Catholic will be taking on the Gateway Gators in a non-conference matchup. Vince Russo and I will be on the call of that October 27th football game. Gateway Gators chant ringing through the Henry J. Furry Complex. It will be Woodland Hills that will serve here in this third set, excuse me. Served over and out of rotation is Gateway, so a point for the Wolverines. Joanna Miller went too soon there. I'm not going to let that one happen. The setter for Gateway. Served over and proper rotation this time for Gateway. Big swing, and up there is Arroya Brown who gets the point for the Gators. McKenna Brown serves for Gateway to the outside. Kept up by Brown, but it goes towards the benches. Nice swing from 17 for Woodland Hills. That's Divine Holland. Bright spots for this Woodland Hills team, only a sophomore. For Woodland Hills. Got a lot of hops, is able to jump up there. Good serve as well as she gets an ace. Holland with an ace. Holland pumped up after that one. 3-1 lead, Woodland Hills. 2 of those points from Divine Holland, who serves again. And Holland gets another ace. It's back-to-back aces for Divine Holland. Strutting her stuff here. And she walks back behind the serving line. The sophomore will serve again. Sent over again, Estremera. A little bit of a better serve. Still playable for Woodland Hills. It was off of a block. Into the middle and just put down by Arroya Brown. Arroya Brown can really get up there as well for the Gators. .5'11" junior middle hitter for Gateway. Serves this one over. It's outside the line. A point for Woodland Hills. Good call from Sarah Bauer to let that one go. 5-2, Woodland Hills. Alexis Aety will check back in for the Wolverines. Jadlyn Sanders serving that one. Didn't get a good piece of that one, and a point for Gateway. Nicolina Estremera will serve. Served over. Rocco on the bump pass. Kept up, though, by the Wolverines. Tight on the net, underneath of the net. And a point for Gateway. Ellen DeCrosta will check back in for Woodland Hills. Angelina Estremera will serve again for the Gators. Served over, into the air, calling for help. Can't get any, though. It's too far away from everyone. And an ace for Jelena Estremera. They've tied this set back up at 5 apiece. The junior for Gateway will serve this one. Listed as a setter, though she's been hitting throughout a lot of this match. That one drops in for Woodland Hills. It's a point for number 7, Helen DeCrosta. For the Wolverines. DeCrosta earns herself a serve. DeCrosta serve. Tight on the net, set from Estremera. Pushed over from DeCrosta. Kept alive and just not down, or just not over, I should say, for Woodland Hills, or for Gateway, and Woodland Hills gets the point. Excuse me. Helen DeCrosta will serve again. DeCrosta sends it over, passed up by Estremera. Into the middle, that one too far from Brown, no touch. And a point for Woodland Hills, 8-5. The Wolverines up in this third set. Served over, passed up by Estremera. To the outside, Szymanski. Kept up by Sadie Boyd and off the fingertips of Helen DeCrosta. Gonna shake that one off. And take the next point. They have a 2-point lead, Woodland Hills does here in this set. Gateway has a 2-set lead here in the match. Alice Childs will serve. Sent over, passed up. DeCrosta trying to send that one over. And those are the ones that DeCrosta is going to want to have back. It was a good pass and something that you definitely can set. And being in the back row for Wolverine, she can't jump either, so has to let that one go. And serve it or set it over, excuse me. Dropping that one down is McKenna Brown for Gateway. Serving again is Childs. Off the touch. Kept up by Estremera. To the right side, Szymanski. Rocco, nice pass. Someone's got to get there, and it's into the net from Sarah Bauer. A point for the Gators as they take the lead back here, 9-8 in this third set. Served over, passed up by Boyd. That's a good pass as well. And it's going to be a double hit on the set from Sarah Bauer, or from Helen DeCrosta. Childs will serve again. Off Boyd. Oh, that goes off of the curtains that are in the roof, and instead of going over towards where DeCrosta is, it just hit the curtain and stopped and dropped there. Tough break for Woodland Hills. Served over, passed up. DeCrosta, there's a collision there between DeCrosta and Bauer. Big impact from both of them, and DeCrosta went down, but she's up and all right. Served over, off Boyd. Rocco just tipped over. Kept up though by Brown. Brown sending this one over. McKenna Brown. Mallory Brown kept it up. Swung over from Becca Bush. Dropping that one in is Gateway, and a point for the Gators, 13-8 from Jelena Estremera. And Childs will serve. She'll continue to serve, but she'll have to stop here as a timeout taken by Jasmine Boyd and the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Woodland Hills looking to try and stave off the sweep here in this one. As we take a look throughout WPIAL Class 3A, let's look at Section 2. Section 1 is where Woodland Hills and Gateway are both in. Oakland Catholic, all-girls school in Oakland, 5-1, 6-2 overall. South Fayette, the Lions, 5-1 as well. Trinity Hillers, decent start for them as well, 3-3. Montour, 3-3 as well. Chartiers Valley, Moon, and West A round out Class 3A, Section 2. So the Wolverines will come back. And serving pretty quickly is Childs. To the outside, tipped over by Bauer, but over to Brown. Brown outside the lines. Point for Woodland Hills, and the timeout worked for the Wolverines as they're able to side out. And Sarah Bauer will serve.
Serving for Woodland Hills, number 10, Sarah Bauer.
13-9 here in this third set. Served over to the outside. Too far on that one. It's 13-10 now. Within 3, Woodland Hills. (13-10). Serving this one off the tape, but kept up by McKenna Brown. Mallory Brown is denied by number 14, Alexis Ayeti. Ayeti gets the block, and Woodland Hills is within 2, so the timeout has worked. They've had back-to-back-to-back points. 13-11. Serving this one over again is Sarah Bauer. Bumped into the air. Estremera will send it over. Bauer gets a piece of it. Nice pass. Off number 5, that's Becca Bush, but kept up by Estremera. On the right side, Szymanski. Rocco. Help there from Holland, and then sent over by Woodland Hills. Into the middle. Ayeti pushes it over. That one out of play, and it's a no touch call for Woodland Hills. A point for the Wolverines. They're within 1 now in this third set. Served over. Not touched by Gateway. Good eye from Alice Childs to let that one go. And a 14-12 lead here in this third set. It's a must-win for the Wolverines. Michelina Estremera will serve. Served over. Off Rocco. Bumped into the air. Bush pushes it over. Kept up by Jelena Estremera. Michelina Estremera takes that ball. Mallory Brown. McKenna Brown, excuse me. To the outside, Holland. Off the block. And that one out of play. A point for Woodland Hills. Divine Holland for the Wolverines. Alexis Ayeti will serve. Served over. Passed up. Rolled over. Kept up by Bauer. Cross court from Bush. Estremera got a piece of that one. The older sister gets the set and then bumped over by Brown. Holland down the line. They're looking for a touch call. Not going to get one, but not a bad swing there from Divine Holland. Still within striking distance here. 15-13. Gateway with the lead and the serve. Joanna Miller serves this one. That one's too far. Yes, that's the right call. Good eye from Woodland Hills. Bree Mason letting that one go. Served over. Estremera passes it up to the outside to Estremera as well. Becca Bush on that one, and Holland really tough to try and get a swing on that one. That ball is spinning off the pass from Becca Bush. And a point for Gateway. Woodland Hills receives the serve from McKenna Brown into the net. And a point for the Gators. McKenna Brown will serve this one. Drops off the tape, kept up though. Nice diving play there from DeCrosta. Into the middle, big swing and the kill from Arroyo Brown. Brown gets the point, 18-14. Served over, into the air, into the middle. Sanders bumps it over, kept up by Estremera. Second ball, Mechalina Estremera, and then rolled over from Childs. To the outside, Childs could not get that one over. A point for Woodland Hills. Natalie Ruffel will check in off of the serve for Woodland Hill, or for Gateway, excuse me. Woodland Hills will send it over from the serve from Holland. Into the air, second ball. Holland will try and roll that one over, just doesn't get underneath of it. Off the head of Jaslyn Sanders, and a point for Gateway. Served over from Arroyo Brown, and it's an ace for Brown. The junior gets the ace. She'll serve again for Gateway. Brown serves this one over. It's a short serve. Passed up, though, and over for Gateway on offense. To the outside, Childs off the block. Kept up by Bush. Second ball across to Sanders in the middle, and too far from Sanders, and a point for Gateway. A little more comfortable lead here in this third set for the Gators. Served over. Short serve, and dropping that one in is Arroyo Brown. The last couple of serves for Brown have been short. Woodland Hills need to push themselves forward a little bit here on the serve receive. Brown will send it over. It's passed up. Sent over by Becca Bush, and she gets the point. Oh, correction, that was number 7. Helen DeCrosta who got the point. Sanders will serve this one. Good serve from her, but a good pass from Estremera. Dropping this one in, but it's underneath of the net for Gateway. A point for Woodland Hills. 22-16 here in this, 22-17, excuse me, here in this third set. Jaslyn Sanders will serve. Sanders serves this one over. Estremera passes it up. Into the middle, Brown. Brown tries to touch that one over, but back over for Gateway. Childs on the swing, off Sanders, and a point for Alice Childs and the Gators. Jolena Estremera will serve. Messed up by Bauer. Off the swing of number 7, DeCrosta. To the cross court. Boyd gets a piece of that one. And sent over. Too strong, though, from Sarah Bauer. Right idea, just got underneath that one and pushed it too hard. And it's match point now for Gateway. Served over, passed up. Sent over on a free ball from the Wolverines. Into the middle, kept up. Touched over, and it's a point for Gateway. It's Rachel Szymanski who gets the point. And with that point, that is the match. So Gateway takes it by a score of 23-0, I should say, 3 sets to none. 25-17, 25-11, and 25-17. The Gators will improve to a record of 5-3, and they'll go to 5-2 in Section 1 standings. Their next match will be against West Mifflin on October 3rd for Woodland Hills. They'll have a non-conference matchup against York, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just looked at, yeah, correction. They do have a matchup against York at home. That'll be a non-conference matchup for Woodland Hills. And that'll be all she wrote here in this one. For our entire broadcasting crew, our producer Adam Gusky, our director Lee Schaefer III, or Lee Schaefer II, and for the Gusky family and the Schaefer family, I'm Spencer Witt saying so long and thank you so much for tuning in here on Gateway Gator Productions. Good night, everybody.